Hello and welcome to PlayOnSports.com's coverage of the girls CIF-State Volleyball Finals. It's the PlayOnSports.com pregame show live from CU Arena at Concordia University in Irvine, California. I'm Brian Vilvin with Manny Nunez on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. This afternoon's Division III State Championship matchup features the Northern California champion Campolindo Cougars facing the Southern California champion Cathedral Catholic Dons. Campolindo comes into today's game with an overall record of 30-4, while the defending state champion, Cathedral Catholic, is 33-4. And folks, the past 7 years have been dominated by these two schools. In that span, the only time one of these two schools didn't win the Division III title was in 2007 when Harvard-Westlake won. Campolindo won the title in 2006, and the Cathedral Catholic Dons won back-to-back titles in 2008 and 2009. In 2010, Campolindo knocked off Cathedral Catholic for their second title in 5 years. Today, the Dons of Cathedral Catholic are looking to make it 4 titles in 5 years, a very impressive feat should they pull it off. And Manny, with the remarkable history of these two teams that we just mentioned, I got to imagine we're going to be in for a real treat this afternoon.
I'm telling you, this will be one of the greatest games I think we will see in recent memory. Both teams with a lot of firepower. More recently for Campolindo, like you said, their last state title appearance came back in 2010. So with a lot of these guys from this Campolindo Cougar squad, so they're coming in with a lot of experience. But from this Cathedral Catholic side, who has been in this state title run pretty much year in and year out, a lot of experience is coming into play, and we can definitely say that mistakes are going to really come out very few and far between.
Definitely. So whichever team can limit the unforced errors is probably going to have the best shot this afternoon.
Definitely, and again, looking at the Cathedral Catholic's side, you got a lot of players who not only have a lot of experience, but a lot of built that can go on into well beyond their high school careers. You got two players, Tatiana Durr and Lauren Miller, who are played in the high school, or who are going to be high school All-Americans, and then also Chrissy Wittes, who is also going to be Division I bound. She'll be playing at Cal Poly Pomona, or Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, correction. She's actually leading the team with nearly under 400 kills. She's definitely going to be one of those big outside hitters we will look forward to today.
Well, both of these teams with a ton of experience. On the Campolindo side, Coach John Vong said that they had a very focused week of practice, and they know coming into a game like today, that when you talk to both of these teams, it's not necessarily about preparing for the opponent, but preparing yourself and doing what you can on your side of the ball. 30-4 the Campolindo Cougars, 33-4 the Cathedral Catholic Dons. So over 60 wins between them and single-digit losses. That number will stay in the single digits after this match. And just really impressive stuff on both of these sides. It's going to be a very competitive game.
In a game like this, both these teams have a lot of experience, and they've actually faced each other off before, like you were talking about before the pregame show. This could be kind of a little bit of a rivalry brewing in here, especially going into the state title game. Only one team has not appeared into the state title game up in years past. So, preparing against a team like both of these teams here, you know what you're facing off against. So, it's not so much preparing against the opponent, but like I said, it's really preparing against trying to develop the experience going into a game like this today.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for the PlayOnSports.com pregame show. We'll be back with the first serve in just a few minutes. The CIF-State Division III Volleyball Championship begins next on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Welcome back to coverage of the girls CIF-State Volleyball Finals on PlayOnSports.com. Coming to you live from CU Arena in Irvine, California. I'm Brian Vilbin with Manny Nunez on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. This afternoon's matchup features Northern California champion Campolindo squaring off against a familiar foe in Southern California champion Cathedral Catholic with the Division III state crown on the line. And Manny, these two teams that have dominated the state in Division III are on the court and ready to get it going.
Yeah, for both these teams, again, like we said, for Cathedral Catholic, 7 title appearances in the last 8 years. For Campolindo on the other side, their last appearance came out in 2010. A lot of these players actually have come in with some experience, so they've seen this kind of caliber before. They know what they're getting themselves into. Brian, this will definitely be, like you said, a game of the ages.
Well, the Campolindo Cougars on the near side here with the red jerseys, blue shorts, and white numbers. The Cathedral Catholic Dons, also red and white as their primary colors. They're wearing white jerseys with red trim. The Dons will serve to get things going here in this Division III championship. It will be the setter, All-American senior Lauren Miller, getting things going for the Dons. Seibert sets outside for Campolindo. The Cougars get the first point of the game on an Annie Schertz kill on the outside, and Campolindo takes an early 1-0 lead.
There you go. In these first few points, it's all about getting used to those first game jitters. Just get the few points going and see if you can get a little rally brewing here in this first game.
Cassidy Abel, the libero for the Cougars, will serve. Set goes middle for the Dons, kept alive by Campolindo. They're going to have another swing to go outside to Schertz. Miller goes right side to Wittes, and Chrissy Wittes with a kill, and the Dons get a side out.
Definitely see a lot of her tonight. Again, coming in with 391 kills on the year. Cal Poly bound, a wondrous arm.
Wittes will be the server, and she's going to get an ace right off the tape. That float serve right off the top of the net and drops down. Nothing you can do about that if you're the Cougars.
Not that, especially that. She can not only hit, but also have a very nice knuckleball on the serve as well.
Wittes still serving. 50-50 ball at the net. It's going to be played by the Dons, but kept alive by Campolindo. And we're going to have 4 contacts against the Cougars as Annie Schertz, the ball kind of caught her a little bit in between her jump. Tried to tip it over the net and couldn't get it across the side.
Yeah, on that play, a little bit of miscommunication too. The set was a little bit too short, hence the bad attack attempt there by Campolindo.
Wittes with another ace. So in 3 serves, she's got 2 service aces, and the Dons are out in front 4-1 here in game 1. So important to win game 1 in this best-of-5 format. We play 5 games. The first 4 will be to 25. Got to win by 2. If we go to a 5th, that one will be to 15, as that ball looked like it might have caught the sideline there by Abby Healy of Campolindo, and the officials say that it will go to Campolindo. The up official overruled the lines judge, saying that that was in the line. So Healy with the kill, and Campolindo gets a much-needed side out.
So on the 4-2 game again, Healy there on the attack. A little short though on the play. Have a little commotion on the courts. They got a couple subs coming in, but a great hit, though questionable as it favors though on the Cougar side.
The Dons will substitute. They bring in Gabrielle Isle. And on the Campolindo side, it's going to be Maddie Browning, the sophomore, to serve for the Cougars. Jump float serve, the right-hander. And the Dons have a little bit of trouble with it. They're going to go outside to Durr. Off the top of the block, Campolindo's going to have a swing in transition. They set outside, and a huge block on the right side. Going up to couple for that block were Ivy Schmidt and Samantha Mangseth. A couple of juniors with a big block for the Dons.
Yeah, both standing at 6'0", but they've got the hops that went right in for the block. The 1-2 duo getting the point for Cathedral Catholic.
The server will be the libero, Olivia Zalesi, in the pink jersey. And the set goes outside, killed by Annie Schertz. Schertz, the leading killer for this Campolindo team by a long shot. They're going to give a healthy dosing of Schertz. And she gets the kill right there. She'll be the server for Campolindo.
Yeah, it'll be both Annie Schertz and Kelly Worth who will be doing the 1-2 duo up along the outside hitters for Campolindo.
And a service ace for Schertz and the Cougars, and it's a 1-point game.
And after giving up a 3-point rally, they get a 3-point rally on their own, a 5-4 lead here with the service ace from Schertz.
The jump floater from Schertz is going to be passed by Zalesi. The set will go to Durr in the middle, and it's kept alive by the Cougars. And we've got a double called against the setter, Sophie Seiberth, for Campolindo. And we see that time Tatiana Durr hitting out of the middle. She'll be hitting from the left and right side as well. She pretty much hits from all over the court. A very versatile player, one of the most versatile players we're going to see all day here at Concordia. The serve, flat-footed by Ivy Schmidt. Set goes outside. That's Sibley. And now Durr in the middle. Kept alive by the libero Abel. And now the Cougars will give a down ball over to the Dons. Cathedral Catholic sets outside. Big swing, big block on the right-hand side. 50-50 ball at the net is won by Durr. She gets her first kill of the game.
Yeah, great block there by two players for Campolindo in front. But that 50-50 ball fell back into the Don zone, and Durr took advantage, found the corner, giving them the 3-point advantage.
Ivy Schmidt with the float serve. The set goes outside. Big swing and a kill by Kirsten Sibley.
And there you go on the play there by Sibley, getting the attack, finding the space, killing that rally there. And let's see what the Cougars can do to respond.
Well, Manny, we're going to see a whole lot of siding out by both of these sides. We've got big attackers on both sides. And if somebody can assert themselves in the passing game, then they're going to have the best shot here this afternoon. As we get another service ace on a float serve by Lauren Gaskin. And that was a situation where the Dons looked like a pretty easy serve, but we didn't see all the knuckling on it. That was actually a very tough serve by Gaskin, and she gets the ace. Gaskin again serving. Set goes right side Durr. Big swing and a kill by Tatiana Durr.
And when we see Gaskin up along ready for service, the first one, like you said, a nice knuckleball that kind of had the Dons full, but the second time it was a line drive over the net, but you see the Dons on top of it, getting the kill there. See a lot of Gaskin up along for serving. Probably get a lot of points there.
8-6, the Cathedral Catholic Dons leading the Campolindo Cougars. Tatiana Durr at the service line for the Dons. She'll take a couple of dribbles and jump float. Set goes middle, and a big swing from the back in the middle by Gabby Greiko, but it goes long, and the Dons, Durr will continue to serve.
Yeah, Greiko with a smart move, but a little bit too much on the hit as it went over the chalk and out of bounds.
Durr will serve this one into the net for a side out for Campolindo.
And there you go. If you're a Campo, obviously this first game, like you said, Brian, very important. You have to take advantage of this service error. Let's see what they can do to respond. Obviously, points will be very few and far between them when it comes down to errors on either side.
The senior setter and captain for the Cougars, Sophie Seiberth at the service line. The set goes outside to Wittes, and the Cougars try to keep it alive, but Chrissy Wittes will get the kill for the Dons.
Now, it wasn't a very hard kill there by Wittes, but she had just enough to force the ball in between the two blockers. They couldn't handle it, given the point for Cathedral Catholic.
Sarah Seiber will serve for the Dons. Float serve. Passed by Healy. Set goes back row to Schertz, and it's kept alive by the Dons. They'll go back row to Durr, and Durr smashes it from the back row.
And you see the eyes of Durr on the play, looking straight forward, but somehow the last second hit curved that ball to the right corner. A beautiful hit there by Durr and the Dons.
The float serve on the way from Seiber. Set goes outside, and it's kept alive. Durr digs it in the back row. Wittes from the outside, dug nicely by Cassidy Abel. Kept alive. They're going to go outside to Sibley, and Kirsten Sibley will get the kill for the Cougars.
Definitely still give the advantage here for the Dons thus far. They've got more firepower with them. They've got Durr and Wittes up along the outside, and they've definitely shown that they've got more strength against this Cougar squad.
The serve will come from Natalie Meniktas, a junior for the Cougars. The Dons have some trouble with it. They'll give a down ball back to Campolindo. Set right side, big swing shirts, kept alive by the Dons. They'll go outside to Wittes. And Wittes is going to be dug in the back row by Manitkas. Outside set, tipped, and the Dons keep it alive. 50-50 ball at the net, and we've got a net violation. Samantha Mengseth could not stay out of that net. She saw the ball, probably looked as big as a medicine ball, but she went into the net, and the Cougars will continue to have it.
All about timing on the play. Mengseth just jumping a second too early, forcing up the net violation.
Set goes middle. Mengseth on the 3 ball. She tips it, and it does not come over the net, so Campolindo on a nice little run here. They trail by a point, and we'll get the ball situation sorted out here. The Cougars will serve. Manitka still at the service line. Wittes is going to swing for the Dons, and she hammers it right off the block and out of bounds. Point Dons.
And again, there's the attack there by Wittes with her iron fist, so to speak, off the block and having that ball skid along the side out of bounds.
Set middle, and a big block in the middle. Samantha Mengseth making up for the attack error a moment ago. She combines with Ivy Schmidt again. We're talking 6'1" for Mengseth and 6 feet for Ivy Schmidt. It's going to be tough to get by those two today. Then you got Chrissy Wittes on the other side, 6 foot. It's a massive front line for the Dons. But Gabby Greco says, I don't care. I'm going right through the block, and Campolindo has a point.
Yeah, this team does have a lot of height. Obviously, a lot of players standing at 5'10" and above, but it's not so much the height, but the explosiveness as you come in for the blocks, and they've got that 1-2 punch with Mengseth and Schmidt.
Set Wittes in the middle, and she hammers it. 2 ball coming around from the right, and Chrissy Wittes left no doubt about that one. Point Cathedral Catholic.
And again, we'll be saying a lot of her name tonight as Wittes, again, showing off her firepower on that explosive hit.
The set's going to go outside for Campolindo to Kelly Worth, and she puts it down. Manny, you keep using that term firepower, and it is on display on both sides here this afternoon.
And again, haven't seen a lot of the strength here from Campolindo, but Worth showing off her abilities with that big hit. Had a lot of space to work with, didn't need to really use it there, but she wanted to use it to her advantage on that play there.
The server will be Maddie Browning, a sophomore for Campolindo. And she's going to have an ace. That time she served it so deep, a great spot where the Dons had to think, is that going to be in or out? And at the last minute tried to make a pass, could not get a handle on it, and Campolindo's within a point.
Yeah, Cyber misplayed the ball, actually was going to stay in bounds, but she actually should have hit it with her fist instead.
Set outside, Durr, Doug, Abel. The Cougars keep it alive. They're going to give a free ball back to Cathedral Catholic. The Dons will set outside, and Durr hits it against the back line. That time looked like she kind of mishit it with the right hand, but she was up high enough that the mistake landed in bounds. Point Cathedral Catholic.
Yeah, a little too soft there on the hit. Actually floated just enough, though, to keep that ball in bounds. Durr was expecting it to be a little bit harder, but a lucky break there gives the Dons the point advantage.
The libero, Olivia Zalesi, will serve for Cathedral Catholic. A slide set and a kill. Kelly Worth out of the middle with the slide and a point.
Yeah, when it's one-on-one with a play like that, you're definitely going to give the advantage to the attackers. Tatiana Durr was the only player in for the block, but it went off her left arm. Give that point to the Cougars.
The high-powered Annie Schertz will serve. Jump float serve, mishandled by the Dons. It's free ball back to the Cougars. They set outside and get a kill. Kirsten Sibley all over that one. And we're tied up at 15. Coach Kelly Drobeck wants a timeout. It's tied up in game 1 between Campolindo and Cathedral Catholic. It's PlayOnSports.com's coverage of the CIF-State Volleyball Championships.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you were enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the Play On Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBB.
Brian Vilvin and Manny Nunez coming to you live from CU Arena at Concordia University. And Manny, we talked about it before the game. This was going to be a very close matchup between two evenly matched teams that are actually familiar with one another, which is kind of strange, the north and south thing, but these teams have squared off a number of times here in state finals, and we have not been disappointed yet.
Yeah, definitely in this Division III matchup. Both these teams have seen each other in the state title games, even during tournament runs here in the state of California. Again, it's hard to prepare against a team like this, knowing that one game will obviously win it all, but both these teams, they're using these runs, although they're short and kind of spurty, they're definitely using them to their control here.
And that time, Annie Schertz serves it out of bounds coming out of the timeout, so the Dons will think that was a worthwhile timeout. And Cathedral Catholic will have the serve. The server will be Ivy Schmidt. And Schmidt with the jump floater. Passed by Schertz. The set's going to go back to the right side. And it's dug by the Dons. Big swing, kept alive Schertz. Nice job. Set goes to the middle. And again a big swing, but again dug. This time the Dons get the dig, but they'll give a free ball back to Campolindo. The set's going to go back row, and Schertz is blocked one-on-one by Tatiana Durr.
So I totally retract my statement from before. When Durr came for the block the first time, she was well short, but she read that like a book. Durr showing off her height and her hops with the beautiful block.
Ivy Schmidt will continue to serve. The set's going to go outside to Sibley, and Sibley is dug by the Dons. Another free ball coming back for Campolindo. This time they'll go back row. Schertz again, and she hits it off of Durr's block. Nice job using the block that time. Annie Schertz going right off the hands. Tool swing out of bounds. And a point for Campolindo.
Not a hard hit, but again, the curve was good enough to force that block to go right towards the Cathedral Catholic bench. A great kill there by Schertz nonetheless.
The server will be Lauren Gaskin for Campolindo. 50-50 ball at the net, and the Dons get a break. Campolindo had an opportunity there, hit it over the net. It somehow went off the elbow of a Dons player, and it landed on the Campolindo side. A tough break there for the Cougars.
Yes, tough break indeed, as Kirsten Sibley had a chance to go in for the block, or for the kill rather, but then that lucky break off a Cathedral Catholic arm somehow brought the ball back in. Good point there for the Dons.
Durr with the jump float serve. It's going to be a down ball from the back row by Schertz, dug by Durr. Set outside Wittes. And it's pancaked, kept up in the air. Great job by Browning. Campolindo's going to have a swing at it. The Dons keep it alive. Free ball back for the Cougars. They'll go slide, and Sophie Seiberth is called for a double, so the Dons get the point. They've opened up a 3-point lead, and Coach John Vong wants a timeout. It's Cathedral Catholic 19, Campolindo 16 in the Division III Girls State Volleyball Championship on your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com.
Play on Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at Play on Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube and youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Coming out of the timeout, Cathedral Catholic with a 3-point lead, 19-16. It's been a very back and forth affair between these two teams. And right now, Cathedral Catholic's opened up a bit of a lead here, 3 points, going into the closing moments of game one here. And we talked about how important a game one is in a situation like this, especially between evenly matched teams. Campolindo's got to do something to turn it around quickly.
Well, it's not just that. It's also those small rallies, too, because in a game like this, when you're saying it, when it's evenly matched, those 3 4-point rallies could be the difference maker. And right now with Cathedral Catholic on a 3-point advantage, mistakes have to become very few and far between for the Cougars.
Campolindo gets a swing from the back row by Schertz, and then the overpass is hammered home by Kirsten Sibley. Sibley has had a great match, just a freshman, Manny.
Sibley, even taller than me, unbelievably at 6'1", somehow takes the overpass and found a gift, put a bow on it, sending it down.
Sophie Seiberth will serve for the Cougars. The Dons go outside to Wittes. She'll tip, and it's dug by Greco. Again, Sibley, this time from the right, and another kill for the Cougars.
Kind of moving like stealth there on the play. Sibley moving from left to right, this time attacking from the near side. A gorgeous hit. A little rally spurt in here for Campolindo.
Sibley, another one of those players that can hit from any side of the court. The last two have been from, or the first one from the left, that one from the right, but both kills for the freshman. Set outside for the Dons. Wittes, and she's blocked. Gabby Greco and Kirsten Sibley combine on the block, and it's tied at 19.
Hard block as it was moving along the net. Somehow stays in bounds. A lucky break there for the Cougars, but with that hit, they got a three-point rally on their hands, forcing Cathedral Catholic to talk things over.
Coach Drobek calls her second timeout of game one. The Dons are out of timeouts here in game one. Campolindo still has a timeout left here in the first game, but it was tied 16-16 when the Dons called their last timeout. They went on a 3-0 run, and then Campolindo called a timeout. They went on a 3-0 run, and now we're at 19 apiece. The Dons have just called a timeout, and I'm sure they'd love to have another little 3-0 run here. Do they have it in them, Manny?
Yeah, they might here, obviously, for Campolindo. You know, getting that 3-0 run after trailing by 3 to call their first timeout. That was a big deal, obviously, to kill off some momentum there for Cathedral Catholic. Now to talk it over. Obviously, on the other hand, for Cathedral Catholic, they want to do the same thing to really just spark up the momentum on their side. But these next 6 points, I'm telling you, this will be a doozy to watch.
The Cougars of Campolindo come out of the break, and they will still have the serve. It's Sophie Seiberth, the senior setter and team captain for the Cougars at the service line. The Dons have Chrissy Wittes in the front row hitting on the outside. They like to go to her in this rotation. And they will go this time to the backside back row to Durr, and it's dug by Abel. The Cougars looking for the lead. Dug by the Dons. They'll have a swing in transition. Wittes with a kill.
There you go with Wittes there on the play. That little mini rally ended by Wittes. Great block attempt though by the Cougars, but again finding the corner to keep it in bounds.
The server for the Dons will be Sarah Seiber. Backside set for Sibley, dug by Durr. Durr is going to get a swing from the back row, and it's dug. Nice play by Schertz. Schertz is going to have a swing now from the back row, dug by the Dons. Back and forth, great digs, and a kill in the middle. Samantha Mengseth ending a great rally and getting a point for the Dons.
And again with Mengseth on the swing attempt. Again, these hard hits have been coming pretty quickly against Campolindo. They've been setting up pretty well, but again, if you leave even the slightest bit of holes, you'll see Cathedral Catholic with the advantage.
The serve by Seiber, kept alive by the Cougars. They're going to have a swing, dug by Durr. Overpass. The Cougars will go outside to Sibley, who puts it home. And the freshman has been automatic. Every time she's getting the ball, she's putting it away for the Cougars.
Yeah, definitely for this team here, only a freshman, like you said. Give her the ball anytime you want, any rally kill. Sibley has been doing damage against the Cathedral Catholic back front line.
Natalie Manitkas with a serve and a dig. Set outside for the Cougars. Schertz, and she tips it in the court point, and we're tied up at 21.
And on that play right there, Schertz looking near side, or correction, far side. We found a lot of space along the corner on the near side. Great eye work there to instead work the corner, instead work over the open space and give the Cougars the point.
21-21. And Manny, this one back and forth like we thought it would be. Right now, who do you think has the edge here in game one?
It's definitely hard to say right now, especially since these rallies have been coming all throughout the game so far. But if you really want to give it to the advantage, I'd say to the more experienced team in Cathedral Catholic. But again, with Campolindo, they've really shown that they can withhold the rallies from the Dons so far. Give the ball to Sibley a lot here and there. There's a chance they might be able to pull away, but you got still more weapons from Mengseth and Tatiana Durr. You just never know what these 4 points will bring.
Well, the Cougars will have the serve coming out of the timeout. 21 apiece, going to 25. Got to win by 2. And it's Natalie Maniktas with the serve. Set outside Wittes. She's going to tip it, and it's kept alive. Great dig by Syberth, and a free ball coming for the Dons. They'll go back row, Durr, and it's dug by the Cougars. Schertz on the outside with a kill. Annie Schertz, the senior, drives it home, and the Cougars have a late lead.
And like I said, maybe give the advantage to the Cougars. Thus far, they've at least controlled some of the momentum from Cathedral Catholic. A beautiful hit there by Schertz to give them the 1-point advantage.
Manikta serving. The Dons having some trouble with it. And Lauren Miller calls her own number that time, but hits it wide. Another point for Campolindo. The Dons out of timeouts, and they trail by 2 here in the all-important game 1. Maniktas still at the service line. The Dons have had trouble with her float serve. The officials getting everything sorted out here. The shoes are tied, and we're on our way. Maniktas, another tough serve, passed by Durr. Nice pass for the Dons. They're in system. Wittes with the tip, and it's blocked out of bounds. Point Dons. They get a side out. They trail by a point.
Yeah, I did not expect Campolindo to take a hard hit, or I'm sorry, a soft hit, but instead the light touch there by Cathedral Catholic to get that floater block to bounce just over the chalk.
The setter Miller, the server for the Dons. Set outside, Schertz drives it. Big kill by Annie Schertz. And the Cougars have game point here in game 1, 24-22 the lead.
Sibley is your setup man, and I would assume that Schertz will probably be your closer.
The libero Cassidy Abel serving for the game. Set goes middle, and it's driven home by Chrissy Wittes.
Yeah,
Wittes will now be the server for the Dons.
A bad play there by Abel. She misjudging that hit there. It was blocked, but she was in front of the ball, but that extra step forced her to misplay the ball.
Wittes with a tough serve. The set's going to go outside, and the officials say there is a touch, and Campolindo gets the point. Give the kill to Kelly Worth, and Campolindo takes game 1, 25-23 over Cathedral Catholic.
An amazing first game here for the Cougars, again being down by 3 in the mid stages. That 3-point rally after their second timeout called gave them the chance to kind of regroup and talk things over. They tied it up, forcing the Dons to call time, but all of a sudden it was back and forth action. You had the kill attempts there by Sibley and Annie Schertz. Schertz really wrapping things up, but then it was really a lot of team effort there to give that team the first game victory.
Yeah, Campolindo trailed for most of the first game. They hung in there, though, trailed by as much as 3 at a couple of different points in that game, and somehow they found a way to keep rallying, get back in it, and then right at the end, take their first lead of the game and make it count as they hold it up 25-23. They take the first game. And for the Cathedral Catholic Dons, maybe a little bit shocked after leading most of the way there in game 1. They came in a very confident bunch, having won 3 of the last 4 state titles. But again, the one title that they didn't win in the last 5 years was against Campolindo. So the Cougars now have an extra set of confidence coming into this one, and we'll see what kind of changes either team makes coming into game 2.
And like you said, it's one of those rarity of high school north-south rivalries. Don't see a lot of that, especially in volleyball as well. But if you're Cathedral Catholic, it is a 1-0 affair. You are down right now. The last thing you want to do is lose your composure. You know, with a team like the Dons, who have the experience coming in, they know what it's like to obviously either be ahead or behind. So even though you do give it the first game, nonetheless, you know, you still got at least 2 or 3 more games to play off to kind of withstand that pressure. But again, to take it on a Campolindo team who knows how you play against them. You know, that first game kind of gave them a sense, but now the second game, most likely we'll see a lot more coming out of this Don squad.
The Dons fans crowding around us here, getting excited, trying to lead their team to a Game 2 victory. And the pressure mounts at this point for Cathedral Catholic coming in. They thought that you know, they should be the favorite in this one, the defending champion, and Campolindo even said it. They said, hey, the Dons are the champion right now. We've got to knock them off of that pedestal as the defending champ, and so far it's been a great match, and the Cougars have that all-important 1-0 lead.
And the thing with this second game, too, is although if, you know, obviously it's very important for either side. Obviously, if you're Campolindo, you want to take that second game to have a little cushion to build in that third game. But if you are Cathedral Catholic, obviously the win would cut it now to a best of 3. Sounds kind of cliche, but again, in a game where these two teams know what they're bringing to the table, every point, every little rally will become very crucial from here on out.
The Campolindo Cougars will serve to begin game 2. The server will be Natalie Meniktas. And Meniktas really got the rally going for Campolindo there in game 1. Putting pressure on with that float serve. The jump floater. The Dons had some trouble with it. This time Durr with a perfect pass. The set goes outside to Wittes, who hits it out of bounds off the antenna. And right now the Dons look a little bit kind of out of sorts. They're not talking to one another. After every play, Campolindo comes together. So Cathedral Catholic's got to find something here.
Yeah, definitely on the Campolindo side, more boom after every point. No matter how they score it, there's always that big celebration in their bench.
Set goes middle, and a tip kept alive. Durr with the pancake. Wittes is going to give a free ball back to Campolindo. And they'll have Schertz with a swing on the outside and a kill. Annie Schertz takes off right where she left off in game 1.
Yeah, again, ending the game with a couple of kills to give the Cougars the first game win. And again, combined with her and the float / line hits, line serves by Meniktas has done a lot of damage. Speaking of a service ace,
Meniktas.
It's been those line drives that have really done a lot of damage against this Cathedral Catholic squad.
Natalie Meniktas with another service ace. And she's causing a whole lot of havoc with that jump floater. 3-0 the Campolindo lead here in game 2. Miller with the tip, kept alive by the Cougars. They go outside to Schertz, who hammers it. Annie Schertz will not be denied.
Taking over this game, Annie Schertz all of a sudden, again, ending the game rather well, like you said, leaving everything on the floor and really just taking things off where she left off from the first game.
And it's all being started by Natalie Meniktas to serve. Set goes back row, and Durr hits it into the net. An uncharacteristic mistake by the senior, Tatiana Durr, and the Cougars have opened up a 5-0 lead. They've taken that momentum from late in game 1 and carried it over here to game 2. A huge roof on the right side by Campolindo, combining for the block, Julia Partlow and Kelly Worth. And it's been all Campolindo here in game 2. Timeout taken by the Dons. They trail 6-0. Campolindo leads the match 1-0, and they're in control here in game 2. It's PlayOnSports.com's coverage of the state volleyball championships.
PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country, from football to volleyball to lacrosse and even water polo. It's PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives right here.
Brian Vilvin and Manny Nunez coming to you live from CU Arena at Concordia University in Irvine, California, where the Campolindo Cougars are in control here in game 2. They won game 1. They trailed most of game 1, came back to win it at the end, and here in game 2, they've come out with a fury.
I'm telling you, leading 6-0, leaving everything on the floor thus far. It's amazing how this duo, from the serves, first of all, of Natalie Meniktas, who, you know, she's got those floats, like you say, but she does more damage on the line drives, but it's been all Annie Schertz as well, who's done a lot of havoc against her own kills.
Manikta still serving for Campolindo, and the Dons get a very much needed side out as Lauren Miller calls her own number, and the setter gets the kill.
Now, you don't need all these points at once. It is early in the game. Although you're down by 5, just get them in spurts here and there to come back and creep out.
Miller serving. The set goes right side to Worth. The Dons dig it. They'll go back row to Durr, who tips, but it's kept alive, dug by Worth. Set outside, Schertz. Dig Durr. Miller goes outside to Schmidt, and Schmidt's going to have a kill. They call a lift on Campolindo, and the Dons get the point. A couple in a row for Cathedral Catholic, and you talked about it. You can't get them all back at once. You've just got to chip away slowly but surely. A lot of points left here in game 2. Miller serves past Abel. Set middle, kept alive by the Dons. They're going to go back row to Durr, and Durr hammers it, but it's kept alive by Campolindo. Great play by the Cougars. The Dons will set Wittes on the right side, and she smashes it. Point Cathedral Catholic in one of the better rallies of the match.
And one thing that you can say about this game today is although we've got a 6-3 lead, the one thing that Cathedral Catholic can do is withstand the rallies. If Campolindo can do that, they can hold on to this advantage.
Set outside, and Schertz hits it into the net.
Now on the other side, after the start on 6-0, you see Cathedral Catholic rallying on their own affair. A 4-0 rally to be exact. Again, as I mentioned, don't need the points all at once, but they want to get them quickly to bounce right back.
Miller will continue to serve. 4 straight points for the Dons, and a response by Schertz. She gets the side out and stops the temporary bleeding and gives Campolindo a 3-point lead.
I think Schertz said, let's end it before it gets any worse there, as Annie Schertz on the play finds the corner on the near side, gets some of that momentum back here for Campolindo.
Maddie Browning will serve for the Cougars. Durr passes, set goes outside to Schmidt, who drives it, and the Dons get the kill.
Now I'm seeing these point trade-offs right now. If you are the Dons, you got the ball back right here, only down by 2. Now's the chance to maybe get 3 or 4 points and get back into control.
The server will be Chrissy Wittes for the Dons. Set goes right side to Worth, and she's blocked. Ivy Schmidt with another block, combining with Samantha Mangseth, and those two combined once again. That's the 3rd time this match that they've combined on a block. And a service ace by Wittes, and don't look now, but it's a tie game, 7 apiece.
And there you go on that last play from the block. Samantha Mangseth and Ivy Schmidt have done a great job at least getting in front for the blocks. They've at least kept them back into the game, as you see on the service error there, forced off by the Dons. At least thus far, Cathedral Catholic has given themselves a chance to creep back even after being down 6-0 to start the frame.
Wittes serves that one into the net for a side out for Campolindo. And the Cougars will have Rachel Hua serving. The Dons go outside to Durr, and it's dug by Abel. And a lift's going to be called against Cathedral Catholic. It was a nice swing from the back row. It kind of looked like a changeup almost for the Cougars out of the back row. I think that was Maniktas from the back, and she gets a kill.
Yeah, it wasn't a very hard hit, but a bad play there by Lauren Miller, who played well off the ball, misjudged it, forcing the attack error.
Right side, that's Schmidt, kept alive by the Cougars. They'll go outside to Schertz, and it's dug by the Dons, who set outside to Tatiana Durr, tight to the net. 50-50 ball, and Durr gets the block. Sophie Seiberth went up and tried to throw it down with the left hand, but Tatiana Durr was there to slam it right back in her face.
And plays like that, it's Seiberth against Durr, but obviously Durr's going to win it there, especially when she's 100% on that ball, using her strength to force it back inside the Cougar zone.
The Dons will have Samantha Mangseth serving. Mangseth just a junior, and she serves it long. Looked like there was a little bit of confusion on the Cathedral side as to who was taking that serve. And it ends up costing them as they miss the serve long. Campolindo leads by 2.
Obviously, and again, a game like this, you don't want to make too many mistakes, and on that one there, you don't want to be giving up free points, especially on a service error on a play where someone shouldn't be really taking the ball behind the line.
Lauren Gaskin with a service ace for the Cougars. Campolindo back in front by 3. And the Dons got to get it figured out in their passing game. They've been able to convert side outs every time they've gotten good sets, but you can't get a good swing without passing the ball well, and the Dons have not done that in spurts here today. The serve by Gaskin, set Durr, and it's dug by the Cougars. Great dig by Campolindo. Durr's going to get another swing at it, and this time, no doubt about it, Tatiana Durr.
Second time is always a charm there for Tatiana Durr, as first hit wasn't gone well. It was a hard hit, as a matter of fact, but the second time, this time, she found the golden spot on the floor, targeted up, gives the ball back on the side out here for the Dons.
Ivy Schmidt will serve for Cathedral Catholic. Set right side, dug by Miller. The Dons will have a swing on the outside and a block on the right side by Campolindo. Going up and getting the block, Sophie Syberth. And Kirsten Sibley with the combined block and a point for the Cougars.
Yeah, especially on hard blocks like that. The one thing that will go for Campolindo's advantage, if it's a hard block, it'll be mostly back inside the Don zone.
The swing on the outside, Durr with the tip and a point for Cathedral Catholic. They trail by 2. Kristen Wittes and Madison Linksweiler back into the game for Cathedral Catholic. Lauren Miller also in the front row. Tatiana Durr, the server. Set back row, Shirts. Dug by Olivia Zalezi. And an unfortunate break for the Dons as it hits the platform off of the ceiling and comes flying down where no Dons were. Point Campolindo.
And that's one of the harder hits there by Campolindo. The force making that ball go way up down to the top and really redirecting the ball there, giving this team a 3-point edge.
Sophie Syberth will serve, set middle. And Madison Linksweiler will get the kill for Cathedral Catholic.
And there a smart move there by Linksweiler, thinking about an attack along the corner, but instead saw a lot of space in front of her up the middle. She found the hole there, giving Cathedral Catholic a chance for maybe another rally.
Sarah Cyber will serve. Set outside and a tip, kept alive by the Dons, but they can't make a play. Nice job, Kelly Worth with the tip and a point for Campolindo.
Yeah, Wittes there with a good pancake save, but the bounce was a little bit too short. About 3 players actually going after the ball, but after that hit, that ball was going way off into the sideline.
The jump float serve on the way by Maniktas. The Dons need to get a side out quickly here because they don't want Maniktas at that service line, and they do get the side out on a 50-50 ball. Samantha Mangseth puts it down.
And there you go, a lucky break there as Maniktas, like you said, was serving for the Cougars on that play, but the Dons ending that spark quickly with the mistake from Campolindo.
Lauren Miller will serve. Set goes middle for the Cougars, kept alive by the Dons. Outside, and it's blocked, a big block by Samantha Mangseth and Chrissy Wittes, and the Dons are within a point. 14-13 Campolindo.
Probably give the credit there to Wittes as she was the second man up along the far side to make the block. Great move there to get in front.
Set outside, Shirts. She takes a little something off of it and gets the kill. Nice play there by the senior.
And obviously, middle of the game right now, it's kind of just trying to survive those small rallies on either way. Right now, the Cougars have that small advantage with that 2-point lead, trying to actually quickly get back in before they can get potentially their big server and Maniktas back in.
Maddie Browning with the jump floater. The Dons again have some trouble with it. Wittes will just give a down ball back to the Cougars. They go middle and a tip, and it's kept alive by Cathedral Catholic. Tatiana Durr from the back row. Dug by Campolindo, and a huge block once again. Samantha Mangseth and Ivy Schmidt. The fourth time those two have combined, and Mangseth has her fifth block of the afternoon.
Great move by both of those ladies there on the play, getting in front of the soft kill. The hard hit back on the other side gives it their advantage.
The serve by Wittes. Slightly mishandled by Campolindo, and they pay the price as Kelly Worth hits that one long, and it's tied up at 15.
So obviously as we get to the near stage of the game, those small rallies, 2-3 points, are going to play in part later in this match.
Set outside, Shirts kept alive by the Dons. They'll give a free ball back to Campolindo, who go to the right side to Worth. And this time they say there's no touch on the net. The Dons have their first lead of game two. After trailing 6-0, they go on a run. They're back in this one, and now they lead it 16-15.
Yes, first lead here in this second game, like you mentioned, looking at John Vong on the sideline, holding off on one of his last two timeouts.
The Dons keep it alive. They set outside to Schmidt, and Schmidt puts it down. Ivy Schmidt with a kill. And right now, the Dons take a 2-point lead. They're in control here in game two. All the momentum's with Cathedral Catholic.
Obviously a smart timeout here called by John Vong. Should have called it actually a little while ago when you saw that rally happen early in the first, in that first part of the second match. But right now, if you are the Cougars, the one thing you want to do is withstand that small little spurt of a rally that the Dons are holding on right now. Again, you were up 6-0. You got to go back to what you were doing when you were leading 6-0. You had a lot of attacks there by Annie Shirts. She's been kept quiet throughout the middle of this second game, and because of that, it's the big reason why the Dons have been able to creep back up in game number two.
Well, Campolindo knows that they can go on runs, and the Dons know that as well. And Manny, it kind of seems like, a lot of times we talk about teams playing down to their competition or playing up to their competition, and these two teams so evenly matched that when one of them goes on a run, the other one knows right away they've got to get a run of their own, and they're all capable of doing that. It's been a very exciting match.
Definitely, and with both these teams, you take away a lot of the firepower from both sides. Again, with Shirts being a little bit quiet. Now you see a lot of the block attempts there from Mangseth and Smith. Like you said, the fourth time that they've combined here. 3 of the 4 have come, though, in this second set.
Campolindo sets right side, and a kill by Kelly Worth. And the Cougars respond nicely.
So you get the response there, though you are down by 1. If you are the Cougars, you want to get at least about 2 to 3 more points to regain the lead. And at this point, then you have a chance to maybe trade out some points here and there.
The server will be Rachel Hua from Campolindo. Big set in the middle, and it's blocked. Huge stuff in the middle. Gabby Greco leading the charge for the Cougars. And Campolindo's tied it up once again.
And there a nice block on the play by Greco to get in front of the very soft touch as Greco used her hands to put the ball back inside the Don zone.
The Dons will set outside Durr, and it's kept alive. Great job, Hua, on the dig for Campolindo. The Dons give a free ball back to the Cougars, who set outside to Shirts, and she's blocked, but it's kept alive. Free ball coming for Cathedral Catholic, and it goes out of bounds. Another huge block by Schmidt and Mangseth. They are on a tear.
Hard to say if you want to give a moral point here for the Cougars, as that explosive hit from the Don side somehow, if they would have at least maybe get that ball back inside the Don zone, would have had a very nice rally brewing.
The server will be Olivia Zalesi, and she'll serve it long. Back at even, 18-18.
Obviously now 7 points on either side to win game number 2. The Cougars, though, have the bit of the advantage. And with Lauren Gaskin back to serve, look on the floor, they still got some stuff to work with if they want to regain the lead.
Lauren Gaskin will serve for Campolindo. The set and a tip by Ivy Schmidt. And Ivy Schmidt's going to have a kill. Cathedral Catholic retakes the lead, 19-18. The server will be Ivy Schmidt for the Dons, the aforementioned Schmidt, who just got the kill. Schmidt with the float serve, a nice serve right down the line, and the Cougars have some trouble with it. They're going to give a free ball back to Cathedral Catholic, who are going to go to Durr, of course, and she goes over the top of the block and gets a kill. Great job extending over the top of the block.
Haven't said her name in a while. Tatiana Durr up the middle there on the play, giving this team a 2-point advantage, and now the small rally into the Don side.
Ivy Schmidt, the server, and it's going to be knocked back by Cyber. The Cougars, free ball to the Dons. They're going to go Durr again. This time she has to tip it, but there's a net violation not called by the officials. And the rally continues. Durr sets outside, and it's smashed on the outside off of the block, but hammered that time. Sarah Cyber, the senior, with the kill.
Lucky break there, as it looked as if it might have gone out of bounds, but it nicked off a Cougar player on the play. A little rally here, Bruin. 21-18, a 3-point rally for the Dons.
The Dons had a late lead in game one and couldn't hang on as the Cougars respond. Gabby Greiko with the kill.
And that's crucial there for Greiko as she worked up the far side and found the spot up the near side on the play. Now 21-19, obviously down by 2. You want to get these points right away.
Cassidy Abel will serve. The Dons will set Durr on the right side, and she'll put it down.
And Durr again with that iron fist, a hard hit, getting the touch to go well into the stands. Now 3 points to tie this match at 1 apiece.
22-19, Cathedral Catholic leading game 2. They trail 1-0 in the match. Durr with the jump floater. 50-50 ball at the net, and the Dons will have a swing at it. They go Wittes. And Wittes is dug. Nice dig by the Cougars in the back row. And a kill on the outside. The freshman, Kirsten Sibley, who's been kind of quiet here in game 2, gets the kill for the Cougars.
I think that might be her first kill here of this second game, as Sibley was the setup man in the first game, finally getting some action here in game number 2, and that's very crucial. She was the one that kind of gave that rally in the end of that first game.
Sophie Syberth, the senior setter and captain, will serve for Campolindo. The Dons will set outside. Chrissy Wittes dug by the Cougars, but the dig comes over the net and inbounds. The Dons let it bounce. They thought it was going out of bounds. It stayed inbounds, and Campolindo gets another point. They trail by only 1. Timeout, Cathedral Catholic.
And on that play, give the mistake credit to Lauren Miller, as she thought that ball was going to go out of bounds, but it kind of died at the end when it was floating over the net. She knew it was going to go over, but didn't think it was going to, go right in front of her. A lucky break there for the Cougars, giving the chance for the Dons to talk things over.
Well, it's a tough play for Lauren Miller, because being the setter, if she makes that play, the setter's out of the play, and you're going to be out of system anyway. It appeared to be going out of bounds, but somehow checked up at the very end and stayed inbounds. So nice break there for the Cougars, but Campolindo creeping right back into it. They trailed by 3 a minute ago, and now again coming down to the wire here in game 2. It's anybody's game.
Definitely, and if you are Cathedral Catholic, you want to use a lot of Tatiana Durr again. She's finally come back into this second game and has a lot of kills to her name. Going from that first game, getting a lot of attacks here on her side. If you look at the stats here, 13 total attacks. She had 5 kills, definitely led her second on the team compared to Kristen Wittes, who's also been quiet in the second game. So give a lot of credit for the Cougars to keep her quiet, but if you are the Cougars as well, get Greiko back involved. Even shirts, it may be worth as well.
Sophie Syberth will serve. Set goes outside of Wittes, and Wittes hits it off of the block for a kill and a point, Cathedral Catholic.
So a smart move there on the block by the Cougars, but again, just over the chalk. Now only 2 more points for the Dons to regain control.
Sarah Cyber will be the server. Set back to Sibley, kept alive by Cyber. Durr from the back row, and it's dug by Abel. And now the freshman, Sibley, will have another go at it, dug by Durr. And now Wittes will have a swing from the outside, and she finds the back corner. It's game point for the Dons.
Chrissy Wittes there on the play. Knew she had the kill, but even if it was going to be knocked right in, a great play by Wittes to give him game point.
Cyber serving for game 2. Free ball for the Dons. They'll go Wittes outside, and she hits it off the block and out of bounds. Point Cathedral Catholic, and the Dons take game 2, even the matchup at a game apiece. And folks, we're going to need extra games here today.
Definitely now in a best of 5 or best of 3 matchup, rather. Cathedral Catholic getting the revenge from game number 1, losing. They win at 25-21, and Brian, right now, you know, you get a lot of Wittes, you get a lot of Durr that are involved. You definitely could say that the advantage might be going for the Dons so far. Like I said, the experience now brewing in. The last thing I wanted to do, if you are a Campolindo, is give some of that momentum back into the Dons side. With that second game win, you can definitely say that it's kind of creeped over to the other way.
Yeah, you breathe some life back into the giant that is Cathedral Catholic, and not just in terms of their state prowess, but the size of that front line for the Dons. They are very tall up the middle, but Campolindo also very big, and they've exchanged blows back and forth. One of the things that Campolindo's had a lot of success with is their serve. And if they can keep the Dons out of system, then they're right back in this match. But when the Dons pass the way they did, closing out a game like game 2 there, they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, you look at Campolindo, obviously. Natalie Menikdis in that second game, correction, you know, had that team up 6-0. Half of those came off of her service aces, but ever since then, give a lot of credit to Cathedral Catholic to really keep her quiet. More importantly, you know, take away her serves. They only allowed her to get 1 or 2 more points ever since that 6-point rally to start the game. So for the Dons to really keep her in check, they did a really good job at that. But on the other side here for the Dons, you know, you give a lot to Christy Wittes, also Tatiana Durr to give them the advantage. But really at the same time, Samantha Mangseth and Ivy Schmidt, the 1-2 punch that gets in on the front line for the blocks, give a lot of credit to them as well to give them points on the second chance.
Yeah, this is a game where we hear the big names and we see it, and on the Campolindo side, it's Sibley and it's Schertz, and on the Don side, it's Wittes and it's Durr, but it's the other players that are being big factors here. Kelly Worth for Campolindo, Cyberth and Abel on the defensive side. And then for the Dons, you talked about the blocking of Samantha Mangseth and Ivy Schmidt. Those two have combined for 4 stuff blocks, and Mangseth's been a part of 6 total blocks. So really impressive stuff out of the rest of the players out here. So pretty much everybody's brought their A game. We're tied at a game apiece, and it's going to be 3 games to decide the Division III champion in 2012.
So yeah, look at both teams here too. Again, the Dons, they get the second game. You can definitely say that the momentum here is a little bit creeped over the other way. Again, when you talk about Mangseth and Ivy Schmidt, you know, they had 4 combined blocks, I guess team blocks you could say, on those plays there. But again, 3 of those 4 came from game number 2, where you can really say that a lot of the team effort came from the Dons in that second game. They kind of assessed their situation from the first game, kind of grouped together, and even more importantly, they would have had their backs. They had their backs against the wall really in the start of the second game, but they found a way to get back into it. They got the second game, and now they can hold the control if they can maybe pick up this third game here.
Well, that will be the question as we head into game 3. The Dons of Cathedral Catholic will begin with the serve here in game 3. And Manny, if you remember back in game 2, it was Campolindo that started out with the serve. They went up 6-0 before the Dons came storming back and eventually took game 2, 25-21. It's Lauren Miller serving for the Dons, and the set goes outside to Schertz for Campolindo. Kept alive by the Dons, but they'll give a free ball back to the Cougars, who will go to the middle this time, and a big kill by Gabby Greiko. And again, we talk about it. Both of these teams can set the ball anywhere on the court and get production.
There you go on the play by Greiko. A great move to just, you know, end it there on the kill. But even more importantly, great job to get the rally going their way. The one thing that the Cougars have not done was win rallies here and there. That was their first longest rally that they've won all night tonight.
The serve on the way by Browning. And the set will go to the middle to Wittes, and she went into the net.
Obvious call there by Wittes as her arm swing a little bit too much there on the play, caught the top of the net. And now another lucky break here for the Cougars, up 2-0.
A tight set, and Wittes had her sights set on popping that volleyball. Instead, she went into the net, and the Cougars get the point, and now they have an ace. And look out. That was Maddie Browning with the float serve short that the Dons have had trouble with all afternoon long. The jump floater on the way again. This time a much better pass by the Dons. They set outside to Schmidt, and it's dug by the Cougars. Shirts now, and a point. 4-0. Campolindo out strong again, just like they were in game 2.
And the one thing you want to watch out for is you have a 4-0 lead. You can build it up to 6, maybe 7, like they did the second game, correction. But now, when you assess the problems from the second game, now you got to look at how can you hold on to this lead.
And Wittes' swing goes long, but it's off the block. Point Cathedral Catholic, and the Dons get the side out. Wittes will be the server. Four to 1, Campolindo leading Cathedral Catholic. That one went off the block, so the scoreboard originally read 5-0. It's now 4-1. And the Cougars will have a attack here on the outside, kept alive by the Dons, who will just try to keep it in play, but instead it goes over the top of the bench. Great effort by Tatiana Durr, but Campolindo gets that 5th point, and they lead it 5-1 here in game 3.
And I like what the Cougars are doing right now. They've won the rallies here and there. They didn't do those first 2 games. Now they found a way to kind of hold on to the lead here and there, kind of withholding the chances out from Cathedral Catholic.
Rachel Hua will serve for the Cougars. Set goes outside, Durr with a kill.
And one player to mention, if the Dons want to rally back, it will be Tatiana Durr. And you see on that kill, she used her strength to force the block to trickle out of bounds, giving that Dons the advantage on the point.
The Cougars will set outside to Shirts, and it's blocked, but kept alive. Cathedral Catholic will go outside to Schmidt, and Ivy Schmidt's dug in the back row. The setter puts it over in 2, and Sophie Seiberth has herself a kill. Point Cougars.
More rallies here in the advantage for Campolindo so far, as they right now holding into a 6-2 lead, but really give them more as they've really kind of controlled the stamina as it's gone their way.
Annie Shirts, the server for Campolindo, and she gets an ace. 7-2, the Cougar lead. And as we look at some of the numbers from the first couple of games, one of the huge numbers that sticks out to me, 15 service attempts by Natalie Maniktas. That means that she's been back there, and they score a lot of points when she's at the service line. More than double the next closest teammate on this Campolindo side, as we get another ace by Annie Shirts. Shirts with 4 aces on the game so far. 8-2, Campolindo out in front and in control in game 3. And this one's going to be an error. So the Dons get a free side out, and they'll look to cut into that Campolindo lead again. Manny, you talked about it in game 2. You got to chip away slowly but surely. And let's see if the Dons can keep that mentality up. It worked well in game 2. Set right side for Campolindo. That is Worth. Kept alive, and a tip in the middle by the Dons. They get the point, and the serve stays with Cathedral Catholic. Ivy Schmidt will continue to serve for the Dons.
And it's very important set out here against the Cougars right now, giving the ball back on the last 2 points. Again, they were up 6-0. The second game allowed them to rally back twice and ended up controlling the rest of that second game.
Set outside, Sibley is dug. She's going to have a swing, this time in the back row. It's Shirts, and it's dug by the Dons. Great dig by Schmidt. Set outside, and a kill by Sarah Cyber, and the Dons are right back in it. 8-5, the Campolindo lead.
And so right now you got 3 points happening here for the Cathedral Catholic and their rally here and there. Right now they've got themselves back in control.
Set outside to Sibley, dug by the Dons, goes off the scoreboard, so they'll give a free ball back to Campolindo. They're going to set Worth in the middle. Durr gets a touch on it, and it's dug. Now Durr's going to swing. Dug by the libero, Cassidy Abel for Campolindo. Sibley outside, dug by the Dons. Great dig. And Cathedral Catholic gets the kill. Sarah Cyber with the kill, but Gabrielle Isle with an amazing dig to make that kill possible.
And now you just see more excitement building up for the Dons. You see Gabrielle Isle losing control after the kill. Didn't think it was going to happen, but Isle found the spot, and hey, she's got more than any reason to celebrate.
Overpass Durr misses it. She'd like to have that one back, but now the Dons get a dig, and Durr gets set again. Blocked away by Worth, but the Dons keep it alive. Overpass. Set middle, Durr, and she puts it off the block, and out of bounds, kill, Tatiana Durr, and it's a 1-point game.
And now a 5-point rally here for the Dons thus far, and like I talked about in the beginning of the third game, you had another big lead for the Cougars. It's now shrink down to 1 with this huge spurt that the Dons have committed.
Float serve on the way from Schmidt, who's been at the line for a while, and a kill on the outside. Nice job by Kirsten Sibley, the freshman, noticing that the blockers were committing strong on that big block, and she just tipped it right over the top of them. No chance for Cathedral Catholic.
Yeah, smart move there to float it over the heads of the two blockers for Cathedral Catholic. But now if you are the Cougars, the one thing you want to think about is get those points back after the rally.
Cassidy Abel serving, and Sarah Cyber killing. Sarah Cyber has come alive here in game 3. And she has been the terminator for the Dons here in the third game.
Yeah, quiet. The first game kind of sparked up the second, but thus far she's been the talk of the town in this third game for the Dons so far.
Tatiana Durr will serve for Cathedral Catholic. The set goes middle, and a kill. Nicely done by Gabby Greco. And both teams responding nicely here. It's a 10-8 lead for Campolindo. The match is tied at a game apiece, and nobody can start running away here. Every time one team seems like they're going to go on a bit of a run, the other team responds. That's how championship matches are supposed to be. Back row set to Schmidt, but it's dug by the Cougars. And off the block, they say no touch. 4 officials saw no touch on that one, so it's going to be a point for the Dons. Campolindo protesting. They think that that was clearly a touch, but the officials say otherwise, and it'll be Sarah Cyber serving for the Dons. Great pass by Abel, and the set goes right side. Sibley off the antenna, and it's tied up at 10 apiece here in game 3.
Yeah, if you are the Cougars, you want to get more rallies coming your way because you know Cathedral Catholic will bring a lot on their plate. They've had small rallies come to their advantage, and you see the service there. Lucky break there for the Cougars, but every chance you get the ball on serves, you want to get at least 4 or 5 points before you give the ball back to the Dons.
Cyber served that one out of bounds. Point Campolindo, and the Cougars will have the ever-threatening Natalie Meniktas at the service line. She serves that one into the net. That's a nice break for the Dons, but a tough break for Campolindo.
Yeah, very tough break as Meniktas, again, like you said, 15 serves going into this third game. She did have 1 service ace, but you take away her firepower, that'll be crucial.
Lauren Miller, the server, the set outside, and Schertz puts it down.
A great play by Schertz to at least give the ball back for another chance at a rally for the Cougars. Again, you get the ball back, you want to at least think about maybe getting a few points depending on how you get them, either on serves or on rallies here and there. They've done a really good job at least maintaining the rallies, but they need to get points consecutively.
Maddie Browning has had a nice service game here in game 3. She's at the line now for the Cougars. Dawn set Wittes in the middle. She hits that one off of John Vong, but he was standing out of bounds. That's the problem there, and Campolindo gets another point.
Yeah, he's wearing red and white, but it's a different kind of red. It's more of a suit and tie kind of ordeal. Wrong man on the team. With the Cougars, a 2-point advantage.
The Dawn set Durr in the back row, and it's dug by the Cougars. They have a little trouble with it, and a net violation is going to be called against the setter, Cyberth. And the Dons get the side out. Wittes will be the server for Cathedral Catholic.
Yeah, bad hit there up the middle by Campolindo's Julia Partlow. She actually hit it a little bit too hard to have that ball go along the net. Hans Greiko could not handle it there on the set.
Wittes with the serve. Set goes middle, and it's blocked. A triple block up top. Samantha Mangseth got her hands on that one. She was assisted again by Ivy Schmidt. Surprise, surprise. And Tatiana Durr.
Seiberth should have floated it over, but she had 6 hands looking for the chance of the block, and they took it to the advantage.
Mangseth with 7 blocks in the game so far. Tatiana Durr with a swing, blocked away by Schertz, kept alive though, and Durr's gonna have another swing, again blocked, but again kept alive by the Dons. Schertz, outside, kill! Campolindo. What a rally there by the Cougars.
There you go, Annie Schertz, ending some hopes of a little rally there by the Dons. And again, that's 4 rallies on the court so far, all of them won here by Campolindo.
The server will be Rachel Hua for Campolindo. The 5'8" senior with the jump floater. Gonna be misplayed by the Dons, and a service ace for Hua.
Lauren Miller there on the backside taking the hit, had her hands together, but last minute having her hands in position for the set. Bad play, free point there for the Cougars.
Rachel Hua for the serve. Set outside, Durr. Look out.
There you go for Durr. Another kill as they'll give the ball back to the Dons here. 15-14. Got to get a rally going if you are Cathedral Catholic.
Olivia Zalesi will serve. Pass by Abel. The set's going to go outside to Schertz, and she hits it wide. It's tied up at 15.
Bad play there again there by Schertz. She had a lot of space along the net, but she didn't take it there. Instead, she tried to work on the sideline. A bad hit there to force it to go out of bounds.
Zalesi with the floater long. Service error for the Dons, point Cougars.
Interesting game here so far as the first game started going back and forth. Cathedral Catholic did have the rally to take the first game, but right now Campolindo is trying to at least withstand some of that firepower from the Dons.
The senior Annie Schertz will serve, and the Dons, they go back to Sarah Seiber, who's been lights out here in game 3, but she tips it out of bounds. It's a point for the Cougars. They lead by 2. And Manny doing his part to help out the broadcast. The ball coming over towards us, and he knocks it back into the court. And the server, Annie Schertz, knocks that one into the net. Service ace and a point for the Dons.
And there you go, get the point back here for Cathedral Catholic. Down by 1 right now. Huge rally with now the points cut down to single digits.
Ivy Schmidt serving. The set goes right side. The Dons collide on that one. And the point's going to go to Campolindo. Looked like a little bit of miscommunication there by Cathedral Catholic. And Campolindo's opened up an 18-16 lead here late in game 3.
Yeah, obviously with the ball coming very quickly there on the hit, you only have a little bit of time to communicate. Both players going after the ball. Hard hit.
Set middle, Durr blocked by the Cougars. Kirsten Sibley and Gabby Greiko combine on the block. And Campolindo has a 3-point lead, 19-16. Timeout Dons. It's PlayOnSports.com's coverage of the Girls Volleyball State Championships.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Well, then tell your school to sign up for the Play On Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SVP.
Brian Bilbin and Manny Nunez coming to you live from Irvine, California, and the Division III Girls Volleyball State Championship. And Manny, this one has been as advertised. We knew coming in that these two teams were very evenly matched, right near each other in the state and national rankings, and they have not disappointed on the court here in the Division III final.
Yeah, again, you talk about the national rankings. How about for Cathedral Catholic coming in 17th in the state, in the state, 72nd in the nation. Though Campolindo a little bit higher, and that's where that rivalry comes into play. 13th in the state, but 48th, about a 24 rank difference on both sides. But if you're Campolindo right now, the experience has really gone their way.
Dons go outside, and again, Sarah Cyber with the kill. She has been the go-to Don here in game 3, and it's a 2-point game.
So right now, down by 2, obviously you want to get one more rally to go to at least notch it up. You need 6 points if you're Campolindo, 8 if you are Cathedral Catholic.
The server will be Tatiana Durr for the Dons. Jump floater. And the Cougars have some trouble with it. They're going to give a down ball back to the Dons, and the down ball goes long off the right arm of Annie Schertz. And it's a 1-point game. Manny, we talk about it. Neither team able to really get much separation from the other.
Yeah, and again, both teams right now just trying to get something going here. And this third game, definitely the tightest thus far.
Service ace, Tatiana Durr, right down the sideline. The officials all over that one, and again, it's tied at 19.
You look at the sideline, John Vong of Campolindo looking at his bench, thinking about calling time, but he's going to let his team go to see how these next 1 to 2 points come in, if it comes in their way.
Jump floater on the way by Durr, right off the tape. Great pass by Schertz to even keep that one alive. Set middle, no. Gabby Greiko hits it out of bounds, and the Dons have a late lead.
Now this
4 unanswered for Cathedral Catholic.
Now this time Vong will call time. We wanted to see what he was going to do on that one play there. Attack error forced out. That'll at least give him a chance to discuss things. Again, they were up big in the third game. It was the same story from game 2. They were up 6-0 in game 2. They ended up losing it. But now in game 3, they had a big lead. They could not withstand the rally from Cathedral Catholic. And because of that, we see right now a 1-point advantage, but a big 1-point advantage with a momentum swing in the Dons' way.
Yeah, these second and third games have looked very similar. Campolindo in game 2 went up 6-0. In game 3, they went up 4-0, and they've led the entire time. They led the entire way up until this point in game 2. And now here in game 3, they've led the whole way. Now the Dons take their first lead of the game. It's at 20-19. Very important that Campolindo responds immediately, gets a side out, and gets that lead back.
Yeah, it's the last thing you want to do is give 1 or 2 more points, because obviously they have been trading points back and forth. You knew for a fact if you are Cathedral Catholic when you were down, obviously you know that those small rallies will come in your way. Obviously, if you're a Campolindo, you want to get that one last rally and then maybe trade points back and forth. Again, these are two evenly matched things like we've been both saying here tonight, but if you're a Campolindo, you want to get this ball back and get that small rally back to control this game.
Tatiana Durr serving with a 1-point lead. Jump floater on the way. The Cougars have some trouble with it, and the Dons are going to have a swing. They'll go back row to Durr, and Durr hits it long. They had the attempt that they wanted, but Durr just missed it. Went about 3 inches over that back line, and again, we're tied at 20.
And there you go. You get the advantage from the attack error by Durr. Now, with the Cougars a chance at a chance at a lead, let's see what Cyberth can do.
The Dons will have a swing. They go outside to Chrissy Wittes, and it's dug nicely by Schertz. Outside set to Sibley, but Cyberth is called for the double.
High hit there on the bump. Cyberth getting onto the ball, but again thinking twice as I guess her left moved a little bit quicker than her right, forcing out the double touch. Advantage here on the air goes to the Dons.
Sarah Cyber serving with a 1-point lead. Set back row to Schertz, and it's blocked by the Dons. And they'll get the point. Once again, Samantha Mangseth in there on the block. She combined with Lauren Miller for the point for the Dons, and a 2-point lead late in game 3. Manny, what can we say about Samantha Mangseth's blocking here tonight? It's been excellent.
Yeah, pair up with Mangseth with Ivy Schmidt or even Lauren Miller. She can do a lot of damage. She's been the talk of the town to really get in front of the net and really do a lot of damage against those Campolindo hits. Only standing at 6'0", but it's not so much the height, but it's really a lot of the hops and really judging it well, especially when you're standing that short in volleyball. When you use those hops to your advantage there, you can at least judge to see when they're hitting, and she's read the hits rather well.
This front line that is up there for the Dons right now with Samantha Mangseth, Lauren Miller, and Chrissy Wittes has been formidable. And then when they go back row, Ivy Schmidt comes forward. And Tatiana Durr. So a lot of big bodies up front for the Dons. And they are using it to their advantage here in the late stages of game 3. And the match is tied at a game apiece. The Dons leading by 2 points here in the third game. And it's best out of 5, so whoever takes a 2-1 lead is in control going into that fourth game.
Yeah, definitely in the driver's seat too. And again, if you are the Cougars, again, you want that last rally to at least go your way. And with the service error, here's a chance to withstand the rally here.
Coach Vong's got to be pleased with that timeout as the Dons serve it out of bounds coming out of the timeout. For some reason in volleyball, it's tough to serve coming out of a timeout. And for Campolindo, they've got to love seeing Natalie Meniktas at the service line. The Dons get a good pass on the serve this time and set outside, and a kill by Wittes right off the block. And the Dons again have a 2-point lead.
For Cathedral Catholic, it was Wittes who did the damage in the end of the second game, and now getting her name called here to end game number 3.
The float serve by Miller. Set goes outside for Campolindo to Schertz, and she gets it off of the tape and down the line in. Nice break there for Campolindo as Annie Schertz hit that one off the tape, and both of the teams kind of stopped and looked at it. It stayed in bounds, and the Cougars trailed by a point.
Now with Brandy Browning here to serve, the one thing you want to do is get one more point to at least notch it up.
The set's going to go to Wittes in the middle, and she hits it long. No touch on the play, and we're tied at 23 apiece.
Now let's start over, folks. First to 2. If you win 2 in a row, you get the game right here. Browning, a crucial serve coming up.
Maddie Browning serves it into the net. It's game point for Cathedral Catholic, looking to take a 2-1 lead here in the match. This one has been a back and forth affair. And the Dons will have first crack at game point. Chrissy Wittes, the server. Wittes with the floater. The Cougars set the middle to Schertz, kept alive by the Dons. They're going to set backside to Durr, and Tatiana Durr puts it down. Point Cathedral Catholic, and the Dons take game 3, 25-23. The Dons have a 2-1 lead here in the match as we head to game 4.
Down 1-0 in the match thus far. You see a lot from Christy Wittes and then Tatiana Durr, who just really did wonders against the front line from Campolindo. Again, down big in the start of games number 2 and 3. They got a lot of huge rallies, about 5 to 6 points, able to notch it up, and then they were able to use that advantage to get another small rally at the end of the second and third game. Got in control. You got Wittes and Durr to get involved at the end. Got a 2-1 advantage on Cathedral Catholic's hands, and right now you can say the momentum is definitely going their way.
Well, Manny, if you're Coach Vong for Campolindo, what are you telling your team? You got to say after game 1 and after game 2, you want to come out fast in games 2 and games 3, and they did that. Both times they came out fast, and they had leads all the way up to the about 20-point mark, and then they let those leads falter. So you've gotten out to fast starts. You just haven't been able to hold on. So what's Coach Vong saying in that huddle?
Well, it's the same thing. You want to go with the same approach, but like I said, the one thing that they have not done so far, they did a really good job actually in game 3 to at least hold the in-court rallies, and that's why they actually had that big lead in the beginning. But to go with the point rallies at the same time, that's what Cathedral Catholic has really used very well. So if you're Campolindo, you still want to explode very strong, but you want to keep that consistently. A lot of mistakes went there, could not really go their way. The Cougars just could not get the serves going in. They were could not withstand a lot of the hits there from Durr and Wittes. You still want to make the same approach, but when you go to the middle, the end of the game, you want to keep the momentum and really keep that kind of firepower going consistently the rest of the way.
Well, it's been a very entertaining match so far. It's also been a kind of strange match in the fact that whichever team has led for most of the game has lost that game. The Dons led pretty much all the way through game 1 until the very end when Campolindo took the game. And then in games 2 and 3, Campolindo had the lead most of the way through until the Dons took away at the end. So if that plays through, you can't imagine that that's going to hold true the entire match. But for right now, that's been the steady case. And Campolindo's got to do something to respond here to the Dons.
Yeah, for both teams, for the biggest lead for Cathedral Catholic has only been 4 points, and that obviously came near the end of the game where it matters most for Campolindo. It was 6 points, and that actually came in the beginning. It actually had a 6-point advantage, a 6-0 run to start the game in game number 2. But again, 2 big rallies by the Dons actually put them in front and actually kept the lead the rest of the way. Again, if you are Campolindo, you want to still start out big, but it's all about staying consistent if you want to force this match to go to game 5.
Well, the teams are out on the court getting ready for game 4. The Dons hope it ends here, and the Cougars hope it goes to a 5th. The Campolindo Cougars will be the first to serve, and you got to believe that Natalie Maniktas will be the first server for Campolindo. Again, she went on a 6-point run in game 2, excuse me, for the Cougars. And it will be Natalie Maniktas here to get things going in game 4. Jump floater on the way from the junior. The Dons set outside to Schmidt. Now it's an overpass, and it's hammered home by Annie Schertz. Campolindo gets the first point of the game once again. And so far in this match, that hasn't been a good sign.
Obviously, you got the right people, Schertz on the outside, and you got Maniktas serving behind the line. So you got the right people right now, but let's see how many points they can get on this first rally.
Well, in the last 2 games, it's been 6 and then 4 before the Dons have gotten on the board. Durr with a good pass. Set goes outside to Schmidt, and it's dug nicely by Abel. Schertz will swing. She'll actually tip it over to the Dons, who set right side. Chrissy Wittes off the block, and a kill. Chrissy Wittes will be the server for Cathedral Catholic. Float serve from the left side, and Abel has some trouble with it. Free ball coming back to the Dons. They're going to go Durr, and why not? Durr with a kill. The back row couldn't handle that one for the Cougars, and the Dons have a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Cassidy Abel there on the play was in front of the ball, but that ball coming too hard, couldn't get her hands ready. Misjudged it. Point there for the Dons.
The set goes outside. Schertz, who hits it wide off of the antenna. And another point for the Dons.
42 attacks here for Durr, 13 kills overall. It's been her and Chrissy Wittes who have combined for a total of 73 kills, attempts, and then 26 kills overall.
The swing on the right side, and it's put down. That time it was Kelly Worth with the kill. Excuse me, that was Abby Healy. My apologies there to Abby. And Campolindo with the side out. Jump float on the way. The set will go outside to Durr, and the triple block blocks it out of bounds. So Durr will get credit for the kill. That'll knock her up to 15 so far in the match. She's the leading killer for the Dons. For Campolindo, Annie Schertz has 16 to lead everybody in the match. The server, the libero, Olivia Zalesi for the Dons. Big block in the middle. Tatiana Durr and Ivy Schmidt combine to knock the Annie Schertz attack attempt away, and the Dons have a 5-2 lead here in game 4.
Yeah, you give credit there. That's her third block. That'll go to Tatiana Durr.
Zalesi with the ace. 6-2 Dons.
About to finish that sentence there. You give Durr for the block, and Schertz gets the ace right there. 6-2, a total team effort from the Dons. And you'll see John Vong regather his troops to call time.
An early timeout taken here by Campolindo. They trail Cathedral Catholic 6-2 in game 4. They trail the match 2-1. It's PlayOnSports.com's coverage of the girls volleyball state finals.
Play On Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at Play On Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube and youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination of high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Brian Vilvin and Manny Nunez coming to you live from CU Arena at Concordia University in Irvine, California. It's the third of 5 state volleyball championships here today. And right now it's the Cathedral Catholic Dons with a 2-1 lead here in the match. And they lead 6-2 here in game 4. Olivia Zalesi, the libero, will serve for the Dons. The set goes right side and a kill. Great job there by Abby Healy, her second kill of game 4. And that time Healy took a little something off of it, found the center of the court where there were no Don defenders, and a big side out for the Cougars.
There you go, smart move by Healy. Not very hard, but at least smart enough to find the hole quickly as the Cougars need some points going here.
And we will have a little replay here as Rachel Hua was not ready to serve. Now she will be, and she'll send her jump floater across the net. Nice pass there by Zalesi, set outside. Durr, no doubt about it. Right through the block, Tatiana Durr with another kill. That gives her 16 on the match and ties her for the match lead.
Ties her with shirts, but really it's been Tatiana Durr who's been that big key for the Dons thus far.
And an ace by Ivy Schmidt, the junior, and the Dons are way out in front, 8-3. Their biggest lead so far in the match.
Right now the composure's kind of losing here from the Cougars. They started out big the second and third game, but now this time they've let the rally go into the Dons side the fourth.
Durr with a swing out of the middle, but the Dons keep it on their side after the block. Again, another block by the Cougars, but a great cover by the Dons. They'll get another swing at it. They go Schmidt back row, and she hits it into the net. It looked like that time Ivy Schmidt tried to do a little bit too much, and she paid the price, hitting that one into the net for a side out for Campolindo.
It's the first time I've seen an attack error that goes into the net on either side. It's been near perfect volleyball here on both sides. Right now the Dons, again with the momentum from the second and third game, they've got it on their hands.
Lauren Gaskin will be the server for the Cougars. And she's got a great serve. The Dons do all they can to just keep that one in play, as the Cougars will swing on the outside. Big swing, but a great dig. And then some miscommunication on the Dons side. Gabrielle Isle dug the swing by Sibley, and then a couple of Dons looked at each other instead of making a play on the ball.
That's one thing that I've seen all game here from the Dons, where they did a really good job at least keeping the composure, but the one thing they have done really is talk a lot on the court. In that play, there should have been a lot of words exchanged to at least get to the ball.
And the Dons let that error compound as Tatiana Durr tries to do a little too much, tried to cut that ball way too much, cut it right out of bounds. And a point goes to the Cougars. They're within 2.
And again, like I said, you want to get the points few, very kind of little by little, but if you are the Cougars, you want to get them right away.
Lauren Gaskin leading a rally here for the Cougars, but Tatiana Durr puts it down. Overpass to the Dons, and Durr does the rest. 9-6, Cathedral leading here in game 4.
A couple of high bounces there by the Cougars to force it on the bump out into the Dons side, and on one hit it was Durr that said, let's get the point right then and there, make it a 9-6. Durr again, so far has been the man of the match here for the Cougars.
Tatiana Durr, the All-American, with the jump floater for the Dons. Set outside, Doug Durr. Back set to Schmidt, and Ivy Schmidt's going to get a kill. They've got Ivy Schmidt who can kill it from the back row on the right side, Tatiana Durr who can kill it from the back row in the middle, and then they've got 3 attackers at the net. This Dons team is tough.
Definitely stacked all the way around. Schmidt kind of quiet the first 3, but now getting into it this fourth.
Durr serving into the net.
Definitely not one to kind of lose composure over The Dons still on the advantage by 3 match-wise here, 2-1. But the Cougars, again, need points right away if they want to stay alive.
Cassidy Abel with the float serve. Set goes outside of Wittes. Covered by Zalesi. Now it's Durr from the back row, dug by the Cougars. They'll have a swing at it. They go on the slide to Greco, but it's kept alive. Now the Cougars with another opportunity. They go outside, and it goes off the antenna. Kirsten Sibley hits it out of bounds, and the Dons get the point.
Again, a smart move there by Sibley, but the attack, she jumped actually about a half second too late. On plays like that, it's all about judgment. When to go for the attack, the ball was right along the stick. Had nothing to do, but instead to see if we can get around it, couldn't get it there.
The slide set and a kill for Gabby Greco. Nice response out of Campolindo.
But the one thing that we've seen in this 4th game is the rallies have been going back and forth. Again, the small rally from the Dons. They've got the 3-point lead, but trading points, which is why Cathedral Catholic has at least held on to about a 3 to 4 point advantage.
Sophie Syberth, the senior setter and captain, will serve. Set goes middle, and it's out of bounds. Samantha Mangseth hits that one wide, and it's a 2-point game.
So a small 2-point rally here for the Cougars after winning the ball on the side the first time. The second time they get the error. They need 2 more points to creep back in. They got to get them right away.
The Dons will set outside, and Wittes hammers that one home. The Dons, a lot of firepower in that offense.
There you go, Wittes again on the chance of the kill. She's got 15 on the night.
Miller serving. The Cougars giving a down ball to the Dons. Durr with a dig in the back row. Set right side to Wittes. Kept alive off the block. Now they'll go back row to Durr, who tips it, and it's dug nicely by Abel. Outside, the freshman Sibley, and it's dug by the Dons, but a double called against Cathedral Catholic, and Campolindo will have the side out. They're within 1.
That's the one thing at least they've kind of kept on their side. The Cougars, again, the rallies from that 3rd game, it's kind of carried over. On that one, a long rally given the Cougars way. They'll get the 2-point advantage. They'll be down by 2 with the chance at least to cut it with their main server and Natalie Meniktis.
Yeah, I said it was a 1-point game. I misspoke. It is a 2-point game, 12-10 here in game 4. And Natalie Meniktis, who has been the most consistent server for Campolindo. Every time she's served, the Dons have struggled with it, and it's just a little jump floater that she likes to put right about that 10-foot line, but the Dons passers have had all kinds of struggles with the Meniktis serve. 12-10, Cathedral Catholic leading here in game 4, but Campolindo mounting a comeback. Meniktis serving. Set right side, Wittes into the block, but the Dons will have another go at it. They go outside Schmidt, and Ivy Schmidt hits it wide.
Again, Schmidt on the smart move to make the attack, but instead kind of goes wide down to the right-hand side, and now a 3-point rally for the Cougars, having Kelly Drobeck and the Dons to kind of talk things over and maybe kill off that small little spurt.
So the Dons call a timeout. They are clinging to a 1-point lead here in game 4, but they have the all-important 2-1 lead in the match. So if they win game 4, they will be the back-to-back state champions. It'll be their 4th title in 5 years. The only time they didn't win the title was back in 2010 when, guess who, Campolindo won the crown. We talked about the dominance that both of these 2 teams have had in Division III at the state level. They've got quite a rivalry going, and this one is helping with that rivalry as it's come down to the wire in each of the first 3 games, and we're within a point here in game 4. On the route to the finals for both of these teams, Campolindo had to knock off Shasta, Sacred Heart Cathedral, and Valley Christian to get into this championship game. Cathedral Catholic had to beat Hemet, Windward, and Rim of the World. Both of these teams the number 1 seed in their respective divisions. And right now, Campolindo trying to cut into that Dons lead, trying to tie this thing up with Natalie Meniktis at the service line. And she'll get us going. Serve off the tape, ace. Natalie Meniktas can get it done from the line.
That was sheer beauty there. Meniktas didn't think she was going to get it as that ball kind of ricocheted off the top of the net, but the nice floater forcing it back into the Dawn zone.
Great pass by Durr. The set goes to the middle to Wittes, but she tips it and a double called against the Cougars. Tough time for that, and the Dons regain the lead.
But again, they at least crept back in. The Cougars got what they needed. They didn't want to take obviously taking the lead would be nice, but at least they were able to notch it up, if not be down by one.
Set right side and a kill. Abby Healy having a nice game 4.
And there, Abby Healy on the play. Great job to at least get the ball through the block. It was hit, but stayed inside the Dawn zone. Now tied at 13. They have at least an advantage to kind of trade points back and forth.
The serve is a good one. Maddie Browning, the Dons are going to give a free ball back to the Cougars. Campolindo looking for the lead, and they're going to get it out of the middle. Kelly Worth drives it home, and Campolindo is back on top.
And there you go. You get the lead right back. Again, you're down 2-1 match-wise. Game reset here. Both teams with just one timeout. And now it's going to be a great game brewing here in this end of 4.
Set outside Durr. She tips it, and it's long. No touch on the play, and it's another point for the Cougars.
And you would think
Campolindo trailed 8-3.
And you would think on that floater too, it would stay in bounds. And again, like you mentioned, down 8-3, taking a little bit out of the Dons' notebook. Leading big from the games 2 and 3. This time they trailed. Now they've crept back in.
And a big block on the right side. Tatiana Durr is denied by Kelly Worth and Annie Schertz. And Campolindo's got their biggest lead of the game, 16-13 here in game 4.
Trying to see who we can give credit to for this 4th game, but I would say it's a lot of a team effort. Got a lot of Schertz. You see a lot of Kelly Worth and even calling Abby Healy on a kill here and there. Giving this team a 3-point lead, now they can sit a little bit more comfortably, but now they got to withstand another rally from the Dons.
Maddie Browning having an excellent serving match. The set goes to Durr right off the block, and a kill for Tatiana Durr.
So now if you are the Cougars, you got the 2-point lead now. You know that the Dons will have one more rally in them before the end of this 4th game. How can you withstand it if you can cut it to maybe 1, if not 2?
Olivia Zalesi with a couple of aces the last time she was at the service line. This time the set's going to go outside and into the net. Kelly Worth hits that one into the net. And the Dons have crept back to within 1.
But you also don't want to give up mistakes either, as Worth there right into the net on the attack. That's the last thing you want to do if you want to hold on to a lead like this.
Set goes right side, dug by Zalesi. In transition, the Dons will go to Schmidt, who puts it down. Ivy Schmidt with the kill, and we're tied up at 16.
And now after trading a rally from the Cougars, this time a 3-point rally to notch it up at 16. Now the championship points down to single digits.
Zalesi serving. And a double called against the Campolindo Cougars. And Cathedral Catholic retakes the lead. Zalesi. She's been a thorn in the Cougars' side from that service line. The set goes backside to Healy, dug by Zalesi. Set middle, Durr, blocked, kept in play. The Cougars will have a swing. That's Schertz, and she gets a kill. Nice job taking a little something off of it, hitting a roll shot into the back corner where nobody was home, and Campolindo ties it up.
Yeah, about 5 of the 6 players for the Dons were right in front of the net. Zalesi was the only one on the back side, but she was on the far side. A lot of open space to the near chalk, and obviously on the kill, easy point for the Cougars.
The server will be Rachel Hua. And she serves it into the antenna, point Dons.
She was positioned far side there on the serve. Unusual hit there going towards the near side. In fact, she went way short there on the play. Can't be giving free points if you are the Cougars.
Ivy Schmidt, the server. And she serves it into the net. So the teams exchange service errors, and we're right back where we were, 18 all.
At least it's not the end of the game when you're making those kinds of mistakes. So you can at least, make those here and there. But obviously, with the game creeping up closer to the finish, the Cougars can't get the advantage if they can get another rally going here.
Lauren Gaskin, the senior, will serve for the Cougars. Zalezi with a nice pass, set middle, tip, kept alive by the Cougars. They'll go outside to their freshman. That's Sibley, kept alive by the Dons. Set outside, big swing by Cyber, but it's kept alive by the Cougars, who get called on a double. Cyber called for the double, and the Dons get the point.
And now when there hurts too, you had the rally. That's the first lost in-court rally in quite a while there by the Cougars. And again, now down by one, you know that the Dons will get something going if you keep making those kinds of mistakes.
Tatiana Durr will be the server in front of a packed house here at CU Arena. And Durr's going to get an ace right on cue. 20-18, the Dons leading it here in game 4. Coach Bong thinking about a timeout, but it looks like he will wait. And instead, he will take that timeout. He thought about it long and hard, considered not calling it, but decided he better talk to the troops. 20-18, Cathedral Catholic leading Campolindo. And folks, we want to remind you to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show, where we will select our player of the game. We'll have a live interview with that player, and we'll wrap up all the action from this Division III championship. Again, that's following the game right here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Brian Vilvin and Manny Nunez coming to you live from Concordia University in Irvine, California, and it is packed. The home side, the south side here, completely full, and then the visitor side, the north side on the far side of the court, is also pretty packed. So an impressive crowd here and a great venue for high school volleyball.
Yeah, definitely both these teams not too far off from Irvine. Campolindo coming out from San Diego for Cathedral. Campolindo up north around Morongo. Only about a 4-hour drive for Cathedral Catholic, about an hour and a half coming out from San Diego. But both these teams know how to turn out, obviously shoulder to shoulder inside of both stands, and they're watching a great one here tonight.
Tatiana Durr will serve with a 2-point lead, and she'll serve it long. So we talked about that. It's tough to serve coming out of a timeout, and we see another error. So Coach Bong's got to be pleased with his timeout call there, and credit that point to Coach Bong and Campolindo. The libero, Cassidy Abel, will serve for the Cougars. Set outside Wittes. Kept alive by the Cougars. They're going to give a down ball back to the Dons, but it's actually a big swing. Nice job, Schertz. But Wittes will have a swing, and she's blocked. Triple block in the middle. Kirsten Sibley, Gabby Greco, and Sophie Seiberth with the block.
On the play, though, it was Sibley there to get that left arm there on the block. It was coming in hard, but she found some strength to keep it in front.
Set outside, Wittes takes a little something off of it. It's Doug, and then Chrissy Wittes hammers it home on the overpass. Wow, that is the hardest ball we've seen hit all day. Whew.
Now trading points here, back and forth. With that 1-point advantage, the Dogs maybe getting one more rally, they can maybe get in control.
Sarah Cyber serving. Back row set, Schertz, Doug, Schmidt, middle set. Mengseth kept alive, swing on the outside. That's Sibley, but it's kept alive by the Dons. Wittes puts it down in the corner. Chrissy Wittes has answered the call for the Dons, and they're 3 points away from the Division III title.
And the one thing that may cost the Cougars is Vaughn using both of his timeouts midway through that this fourth game. Doesn't have any in his pocket. Now he's got to watch his team battle out to the finish.
Cyber serving over in 2 and a kill. Nice job by Cyberth. Sophie Cyberth put that one right in between 2 defenders for the Dons, and Cyber and Schmidt collided, knocked it out of bounds, and it's a big side out for the Cougars. They trail by 1.
Yes, not hard, but enough to make a curve right towards the near side. Now with the Cougars having this ball back, every point coming crucial.
The serve by Cyberth on the way. Over and 2, Lauren Miller calls her own number, and the senior setter All-American with the kill, and a huge point for the Dons. They're 2 points away.
There you go, Lauren Miller. Thinking set out of a lot of open space. 2 points away from a championship.
The set goes back, and it's long. Out of bounds. Kirsten simply with the swing. She hits it long, and it is state championship point for the Cathedral Catholic Dons. Lauren Miller, the senior setter, and
can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
The PlayOnSports.com, our player of the game, Cathedral Catholic Dons, the back-to-back championships years and 3 in the 4 years you're champion again.
It's such a thing with us. I've been the teams. It's so fun, and I'm so.
You guys come into this championship season with a bullseye on your back. Was it tough to play last year? How was throughout the course of the guys just kind of take?
Fueled the fire, actually, mind, and to be here today. An accomplishment, and I'm so excited.
2010, the only time you guys didn't. Was that something that kind of in practice getting ready?
Yeah, I'm so excited just to get some revenge. Amazing, Campolindo, and.
Well, you guys game 1, and then they snuck back. What was going through your guys' mind?
I think it really it showed us we did, and everyone contributed to the bench and who was on the court, and I think we won. So.
Well, you guys showed that you could play game 2 and in game 3, and then once it came down to big kills for the Dons in game set at the end of that 4th game.
These girls again, and I just the other seniors to win with them because we played with them for.
Congratulations once again, set to lead the way for the Dons. Sports.com player of the game. Game show will continue in.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how
Welcome back to Irvine Sports.com postgame show with the dancing Manny Nunez. Cathedral Catholic Dons defeat a final score of 3 games and 3 crown. And Dons 4 in the last 5. Impressive run for Cathedral Catholic under.
One of the best they've won in their 4 to 5. Second and 8-3, they found with effort to really creep games. They withstand another against that stage, but all of a sudden you give a lot of credit to that team. They're really state title.
Well, you talk about a team after the game. That was Chrissy Wittes about her teammates the entire time. Accolade, and she says that it's because they do that, and that just goes the team has.
We look at the stats too. Kills out of 56. Kristen Wittes out of 44. Total kills spread out on that side. They had a lot of assists there from actually giving that well, but really give a lot. They came together to play as a team, but really through with the errors they made. They were really few, but they really kind of had it phase them as mistakes out of Campolindo.
Great effort under Coach John Bird, and they were in every single one on either way. But Campolindo's got to be pleased.
Obviously, you know, year in and year out, obviously it's kind of a point when you build a program year in and year out, and you know you have, and also Kristen Sibley who for this team, but also you have a lot from Kelly. You also mix serve. She had 22 total serve, a 4-game kind of match as well. Effort, although they fell short, they still have a lot.
Cathedral Catholic Dons take, and they win their 5 years, folks. Division III champ.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.